What happens when you're an aviation geek with a few million quid to spare? Well, apparently you buy an Airbus A380, slap some stickers on it and decide to launch your own airline. One plane, 500,000 Instagram followers, almost, and no flights. Oh, and one very interesting CEO.
Maybe we'll turn the aircraft into a spa next.
This is Global Airlines' first flight, and I've got a front row seat in first class.
It's a very professionally run operation.
Doesn't look like it. Welcome to Glasgow Airport in Scotland, and today is a really special day because there's a brand new airline taking to the skies. Global Airlines' first flight leaves from here in just a few hours. Before I go and get on board the very first flight though, let's go and take a peek behind the fence at what they're doing to get this plane ready for takeoff. But before we do that, here's a quick look at how this airline ended up on everyone's radar and why some people are calling it the world's weirdest airline launch. Global Airlines were founded in 2021 by a guy named James Asquith, a British travel influencer who apparently holds the Guinness World Record for being the youngest person to visit every country. He announced plans to bring the A380 back into luxury service with promises of caviar, champagne and even a gamer class. But after years of delays, no air operator certificate and some suspicious social media numbers, many in the aviation world started asking the questions, is this for real or just a very expensive publicity stunt? So welcome to the ramp here at Glasgow Airport. Right now they're getting this beautiful aircraft ready for its first transatlantic flight later on today. And I'm going to be on board. We're heading to JFK in New York. Everything is a hive of activity right now. They're getting everything, all the final preparation is just taking place right now. We're going to go on board, have a little look around the inside of this thing before the passengers get on the flight and see what they're up to. So right now it's a hive of activity. They're getting the aircraft ready right now for its first ever revenue flight. And I am the first revenue passenger to set foot on board the Global A380. This is pretty cool, isn't it? This is the economy cabin upstairs. We're going to come forward a little bit more. We've got the business class cabin down here with lots of nice lie-flat business class seats. And just downstairs, I'll show you in a little while, we've got the first class seats as well, which are pretty flipping awesome. The entire aircraft right now is a hive of activity. There's boxes being loaded on, there's cabin crew working around, the pilots are doing all of their checks ahead of the flight, the maintenance crews are checking everything over, giving it all the once over. Later today, this thing takes flight. So this right here is the crew rest area at the back of the Airbus A380. This is where the crew come to have their naps and things and get their required rest breaks through the flight. I've never been in an A380 crew rest, but let's go and see what he's like. And actually, this is pretty decent, you know. I mean, I know I'm probably going to have a nice bed to lay on the flight anyway, but you know what? I might come and lay in here, actually. So actually, I'm 6'4", right? As I keep mentioning, and this is where my legs are, right down there. This is actually pretty bloody comfy. All right, so we've seen inside the crew rest. Now we're going to the front of the aircraft, because right here is a secret compartment. This is the Avionics bay of the Airbus A380. And in here, look at all this lot. This is all electrical equipment, avionics and everything, and flight entertainment and stuff is all controlled from within here. This is like a server room. I used to work in IT, and this is like a server room when I used to work in IT. Data cabinets, the works, look at this. Down there is the cockpit, the flight deck, right underneath where I'm standing now. I'm trying desperately hard not to touch anything because one of these things gets touched and knocked and it knocks the whole flight off for today. We can't be doing that. I don't want to be the person responsible for doing that. It's not a good look, is it? So of course the pointy end of the plane is the important part. This is where the pilots are. This is where all the action happens. Without this bit, we go nowhere. And it's a very spacious flight deck. I've never been on an A380 flight deck before, but this is incredible. First officer seat, captain seat, all of the displays are on. Everything's being just checked and tested today, ready for its flight later on. We've got jump seats down here too, one at the back here, one sitting right over here too. So this is where you can sit, best view in the house. So not only do we have the crew rest area at the top here, then the pilots have a second one as well. They get their own private room. There's one up there and there's one down here, look, and you go in here and they've again, you got the nice big bed and everything. It's even got the TV screen up there, presumably for controls. I'm guessing that they're not going to be watching Netflix on that thing, but look, this is incredible, and it's like a full-size room. I've stayed in hotel rooms similar size to this in those sorts of little pod capsule hotels things. This is actually pretty comfortable, and once again, it's all kind of noise deadened and everything. It's really quiet in here. Probably better than actually flying in one of the paid seats, if I'm honest. Wonder if they put me here instead. All right, the plane's here, we're here. All we need now is for a flight to take off. It's time to go and get checked in for the first ever flight with this airline, and I am super, super excited.
Hello.
Hi, yeah, you all right?
Very well, how are you?
Yeah, awesome, thank you.
Good, excellent. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you too.
Yeah,
Thank
I'm
you.
Craig.
Hi,
I
nice to
follow
meet
you.
you. Nice to meet you.
Yes,
you
you too.
excited for the
Yes,
Global?
100%.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
100%. It's going to be good. Good. It's good. It's good for Glasgow. It's good for Glasgow.
Yeah, it is amazing. It'd be good if they started doing regular stuff to Glasgow. Anyway.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, maybe
Fingers
they'll get
crossed.
a good experience.
A good
this time,
experience,
and
yeah.
Yeah, well, nice to meet
Fantastic.
you anyway.
Yes, it was lovely to meet you
Yeah,
too.
we'll see you later.
Fantastic. Have a lovely trip.
Thank you. Hi, yeah, you're right.
I'm grand, how are you?
I'm doing good.
I'm
Thank
not checking
you.
nothing like that. No, I'm just dishing out stuff.
Oh, you're just giving out freebies, stickers. Tell us where you live.
So that's for your first night accommodation.
Oh, okay,
Then
yeah.
That, we just hand it to the check-in agent.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
Would you like a sticker for your hand luggage?
Can do, yeah. Hi there, how are you?
Just your passport, thanks.
Oh, there we go.
Brilliant, thanks.
Thank you very much.
Any bags for you to check in?
No, I'm going to carry on, please.
And that's you.
Amazing, thank
Do
you
you
very
have
much.
hand baggage tags on?
Oh, I've got one of those
You've
on
got
there
one of
if
those,
that's
right. Okay,
any good.
that's
Yeah.
fine. That's you
Yeah.
can use the Loman Lounge as well upstairs.
The Lomond Lounge, okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
it's just across from Boots. There's a lift that'll take you up.
Amazing, thank you
Okay,
very much.
thank
All
you.
right, see you later. Bye-bye. Hey Simon, how are you?
Hello, nice to see you. So, do you mind having a quick word?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, so tell us, you've flown over here in order to fly back to the US.
I have, yes. Back home on the first flight of the Global A380 and it's super exciting.
Why is it exciting?
This guy who set this airline up is a man with a dream, and the classic underdog story. He started off with a plane and not much else, and nobody thought he would get to this point. I didn't think he would get to this point, and here we are, literally a plane full of passengers about to get on board an Airbus A380 and fly to New York. It's incredible.
Except a cynical person would say that he hasn't actually done anything other than buy an Airbus A380 and he's having to get high fly to fly it.
From my point of view, this is a damn sight further than I thought it would ever get in the first place. So I am also a very cynical view. I'm also looking at this going, you can't just start an airline with A380s. But he has, and okay, yes, it's operated by High Fly. Yes, it's not their actual route because they haven't got the certificates and everything yet, but they mean business.
Come and see us in economy.
I will do, mate.
So nice to see
Thanks,
you.
Simon. Yeah, good to
Bye.
see you again.
That's Simon Calder, the UK's most respected travel journalist, and this wouldn't be the last time that we'd see him on camera today because just a few minutes later, this aired live on national television across the UK. Introducing the owner and CEO of Global Airlines, James Asquith.
Magic. Oh, and here he is.
No.
Oh, here we are.
he is.
This is James Asquith. Mike here is he is the chief executive and founder. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. I think a lot of positivity since, well, you didn't believe this would happen. So here we are. Did you get a cupcake?
I didn't get a cupcake, James, but thank
I'm
you.
gonna do you want a cupcake, Simon?
No, it's fine. I just want to know what happens next after this.
Who knows? What happens tomorrow? Maybe we'll turn the aircraft into a spa next.
A spa, that would be good.
But what do you think? What do you think about where we are?
I wish you well. I just hope that it all works out.
Well, who knows? Nothing's guaranteed tomorrow, right? So
Yeah.
we'll have to
He's not-
see. But
He's not giving me a lot of. I'm sorry, he's not encouraging me to get on
couldn't
his
be
plane.
happier.
There we are.
If I were
Thank
you,
you.
Simon, I mean nothing personal. If I were you, I wouldn't get on that plane. He doesn't sound like the sort of guy that should be running an airline.
It's a very professionally run operation.
Doesn't look
The,
like it.
team
Listen, you've got an hour
requires
to go, right, until you get on it.
Yeah.
Why don't you go and buy yourself a parachute?
All right, then I am all checked in for my flight across the Atlantic to New York, Global Airlines. One more thing that I need to do before I go and sample their first class delicacies of Global. Let's go and experience the first class delicacies of Glasgow Airport, and something that I've been wanting to do for about 3 years now, since I left the UK. Let's go and get a Greggs. Hiya, you're right. Can I get a sausage, bean and cheese melt, please? I'll then just that on its own, thank you. So I live in the States and I haven't been to Greggs in 3 years. So I'm just like, can I take sausage rolls for my wife? She's going to kill me if I don't. Yeah, I'll take a pack of sausage rolls, please. If they get taken off me, they get taken off me, that's all.
No, the bottom, you're all right.
Thank you.
£7.60.
Wicked, thank you.
No, you're fine. It's amazing the amount of stuff that people buy here
Yeah.
to take, guys.
Thanks very much, have a great day. Thank you. Oh, got me Greggs. We are rolling, baby. I've missed Greggs so much, by the way. Sausage, bean and cheese milk. That is good. It's cold, but it's good. What has happened to Glasgow Airport, by the way? I remember Glasgow being like the main airport for people coming to Scotland and stuff. was like the major international airport. Now it's like there's nothing here. Be Jet 2, TUI, stuff like that. That's it.
There you go, so just straight up to the top.
Yeah.
The guy in the pink.
Nice one.
There you go,
Thank you.
perfect.
Have a good day. Yeah, I am. How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Good to see you. Thank you. I bloody love Scotland though, it's so nice. I've not been to Glasgow in forever, but always used to love coming up here when I lived in England. Actually now I prefer coming here to coming to England. It's sad to say, but it's a lovely part of the world. Scottish people are amazing. Here's a bit of an indicator for you. Last time I flew through here, I think it was for the Barra flight, just before COVID, before all that kicked off. And this area here was rammed, like literally you couldn't get a seat. You had to go and sit in somewhere, some other part of the terminal just to wait for a bit because it was just too busy, there were no seats available. No shortage of seats today. Is that a sign of what's happened to this place? All right, made it down to the gates. And there she is, the Global Airlines Airbus A380. It's a former China Southern plane. On board, as you saw earlier on today, it's all China Southern, just kind of rebadged and rebranded, basically with a Global Airlines sticker slapped on the side and through the cabin and stuff. It's kind of what they've done with it. They've not, I'm not going to lie, they've not done a lot. They've done a lot in terms of changing the seat covers and stuff, but it's effectively still a China Southern plane operated by Hi-Fly because Global don't have their own rights on the routes. I mean, starting an airline's a big undertaking and they don't have any rights to sell tickets or anything like that, or operate their own planes yet. So it's operated by Hi-Fly, the Portuguese charter outfit. So effectively it's a holiday flight over to New York and back for a lot of people, and me. One of the reasons I love coming on these sorts of trips like this is that you meet so many other people that you'd recognise, and you're just looking around. I mean, there's like these guys over here, there's this dude's on YouTube somewhere, I don't know. We've got Patrick Shea over here, we've got Infinite Flight over here, and over here, Worldwide Dom, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
You excited for the flight?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. A380, you can't not love an A380. It's such a beautiful aircraft. I mean, even when it's half painted.
It has a buzz about it.
It does, it really does.
You get to the gate, and it's like that scene in Airplane,
yes,
where they get to the gate and there's everybody buzzing around and milling around. It literally is like that every time, and it never gets old.
Yeah, I mean, it's just us buzzing around at the moment.
Admittedly, yes, it's not very, there's not many people here, but yeah, it's going to be a good flight.
Buzzing we are.
Buzzing we are. We're at least a bit buzzed, if nobody else is.
Yes, absolutely.
Are you staying in New York for a bit, or are you going to be coming back?
I have got a crazy itinerary. I am flying back 6 hours after landing.
Nice.
Yeah. Got to get back for work. Unfortunately, I am a salary slave. So
I know that well, but yeah, well, it's going to be an exciting flight anyway, nonetheless. Enjoy your 6 hours in New York, and we'll see you on board.
Yeah, we'll see you on board.
Oh, that's for Global.
There's a downgrade.
They're going to check everyone's bags up again.
7802 New York is now available for boarding at gate number 34.
Sorry, there you go.
You went
First, yeah.
Not sure why. It's bizarre, but we're doing business.
Okay, you do first after business. Okay, yeah, fine, fair enough. I will hang about. Yeah, no worries. I'll wait a few minutes. No, you're fine. No worries. You're Go on, there you go. Get to the back. So, Global Airlines seems to be the airline then where if you're in first class, you actually are boarding last. That's why it's called first, because you come last. Thank you. All right, thank you. See you. See you later, mate.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
And I'll
see you later.
have a lovely time.
Thank you. Hello there, how are you?
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Yeah, good, thank you very much.
To your left,
To the left. Thank you very much. Hello, how are you? Awesome, thank you. How are you? Thank you. 1K.
1K.
Thank you.
Up here in first class, the cabin's got some sparkle, but the closer you look, the more the cracks begin to show, and that's not just a metaphor.
All right then, the words I never thought I'd be saying. Welcome on board Global Airlines Airbus A380.
and we're actually going flying today. I never thought this day would come. So I've actually booked a ticket up here in first class for today's flight. They do economy, business class and first, and it's the old China Southern first class. The whole plane is China Southern. This was a China Southern plane after all, as we'll see as we walk around in a little bit later on. And it's all right. It's a little bit tired, a little bit beaten up. There's like panels hanging off, not ideal. We've got a nice little lamp here off of Temu, and it's USB charged, so they basically can just take it off and plug it in and charge it overnight. It's practical, it does its job. We've got a menu here, we've got a welcome on board thing, we've got pyjamas, we actually get PJs. That's pretty nice, actually. I was not expecting that. And yeah, it's not too bad, really. I would say not too shabby. It is a little bit shabby. In-flight entertainment, we've got the screens up here. They don't work. They're all off because they've not actually got any in-flight entertainment. The whole plane is kitted out with monitors and they're just all switched off. I tell a lie, there is in-flight entertainment, but it's one of those that you connect to on your phone and effectively just stream to your phone, because according to the airline, people don't want TVs anymore. They just want to be able to stream to their phone instead. Let me know down below. Is that you? Personally, I prefer a screen, especially for a transatlantic flight, but I don't know, let me know.
Good morning, dear passengers. This is your commander speaking. I'd like to warmly welcome you on board this historic flight from Glasgow to New York Kennedy Airport, operated by High Flight.
And just like that, we're pushing back. Global Airlines' first ever flight is officially underway. Well, sort of. So just like that, we're airborne and Global Airlines is officially flying. It's a surreal moment, really, watching this dream actually leave the ground. Our route today then took us west out of Glasgow, crossing Northern Ireland and the Atlantic before flying over Canada and down into the States. Flight time today, 6 hours and 20 minutes, cruising at 38,000 feet. And we're airborne on the first of what will maybe many Global Airlines flights, and I say that because Global have been around for a couple of years now, trying desperately to get this airline going. And so yeah, he's apparently getting 50 of these A380s, and reckons he can make an airline starting flights everywhere from Brisbane all the way across to Hawaii, using a fleet exclusively of Airbus A380s, the same A380 that every other airline is getting rid of because they're too expensive to operate. Global reckon they can do better. They reckon that they can actually make a go at this. This aircraft used to fly for China Southern, and honestly you can still tell. Most of the original features are intact, right down to the seat panels and the signage. They've just been rebranded with cheap Global stickers slapped everywhere. It's a bit like trying to launch a luxury brand using a label maker. Global's also introduced a brand new onboard concept called the Sky Pub, which from what I could see is just a cocktail shelf with another sticker. Upstairs is where the business class cabin is, but we weren't allowed up there during the flight, which as it turns out might have been a blessing, because from what I heard from passengers up there, the meal service took nearly 5 hours. By the time the second service was ready, we were already on final approach into JFK. So the doors are closed. Full closing doors here in first class on the Global A380. Little windows there, not quite private. It's like little portholes so that people can look in and peer at you as you sleep and stare into your soul. But it's not too bad. It's pretty comfy, I have to say. If you look online at Global Airlines, you might be forgiven for thinking that they're a much bigger deal than they actually are. Their Instagram account, they have like almost 500,000 followers on Instagram, which a lot of people find strange because like Virgin Atlantic haven't got many more than that. And you do a little bit of digging and you realise that actually the reason for that is because they bought an Instagram page from a Turkish plane spotter a few years ago, And if you look at it, you can see all their old posts. They're tagged in thousands of posts right the way back to 2012 because they've basically bought this Instagram page and changed the name of it to Global Airlines, a bit like they've bought the China Southern plane and slapped a global sticker onto the side of it. So yeah, that's the thing. But if you were following an account years ago and then all of a sudden you started seeing Global Airlines posts pop up in your Instagram feed, well, that's probably no surprise because they've basically bought the Plane Spotters page and are using that as their own airline page, really, and they kind of bought the following of that. Honestly, it does give me the ick a little bit as a social creator who has spent years building up naturally and organically my audiences on YouTube and finds it a real struggle sometimes. I have sleepless nights, all the rest of it, worrying when things aren't going so great, and then you realise that you can just go out there and buy a page and just inherit all those followers. Yeah, in any case, it's not an issue on today's flight because there's no Wi-Fi anyway, so you couldn't check your Instagram even if you wanted to. But the whole fake Instagram thing isn't the only thing that doesn't quite add up. Now, as you guys know, I always pay for my own flights. I don't take freebies, and if I did take a freebie, then generally there would be a reason for that and it would be disclosed in the video. But here's the thing. Global Airlines, when they were planning all of this flight, invited a bunch of us influencers to come along and cover the inaugural flight. The catch was that we'd have to pay for our own tickets on the inaugural flight, which I don't mind doing. I pay for my own tickets anyway, but it's a little bit like being invited to your mate's wedding and then being sent a Venmo request afterwards to help pay for it. Now, I don't expect freebies in the slightest, but when you're starting a new airline and you invite a bunch of people along to help launch your brand and show it off to the world, and then you charge them for it, that's not normal. That's Global Airlines. Now, Global Airlines might not be a scam exactly, but when an airline with no license, no scheduled flights, and a mysteriously large Instagram following starts wanting your personal data, I start asking questions. And that's where this week's video sponsor, Incogni, comes in. Now, Incogni is a service that helps you to remove all of your personal data from the internet, from the shady internet data brokers all the way through to airlines that keep hold of all of your data. Think of it as your digital seatbelt, if you like, when it comes to protecting your personal data. You see, Incogni's like your personal bouncer for the internet. It finds the companies selling your data, then legally forces them to delete it automatically. No awkward emails, no faxing anyone's legal department from 2003. I signed up for Incogni and I was really surprised. Within minutes of signing up, they'd removed my data from hundreds of websites, all completely automatically. And even now, they still keep emailing me and telling me, oh, we've removed another bit of data from another website. And it's honestly really cool. And now they've gone even further with a new feature called custom removals, which is part of their unlimited plan. This lets you go after any site where your private information's showing up. Just paste the URL into your Incogni dashboard and their privacy experts will get to work to get it removed. Think people's search sites, court databases, shady data aggregators, all gone, like your internet past never existed. It's easy, effective, and honestly, it's quite satisfying. Just try Googling yourself. You'll be shocked where your details show up, and then let Incogni nuke it from orbit. You can get started right now with 60% off using my link in the description and take back your digital privacy before someone else takes it for you.
It's time for the Noel Phillips Lou Review.
It is indeed. This is the China Southern / Global Airlines loo review. This is one of 14 loos that they've got on this A380. I didn't know that the A380 had that many loos, and no, I'm not going to manage to get around every single one of them today because I've kind of, well, I'm sure you don't want to watch a video of 14 loos back to back. But anyway, this is the first class loo. Very fancy, very swish. I mean, it's got flowers. At least it's a loo. It's not exactly Emirates first class loos with showers and wooden floors and all the rest of it. It's just a basically bog standard A380 loo with a couple of flowers in it. We've got the toilet down here, we've got the toilet roll and everything there, and then there's like the sink. This is kind of a little bit tired and dated, like much of the rest of the plane really. There's a plug outlet there as well, so you can charge your phone while you're on the loo, and there is a baby changing table there in case you're a baby that needs changing, and that's pretty much it really. One thing I do have to say about this flight so far is that the passion behind this airline is unreal. These guys have worked tirelessly for years in the face of a lot of negativity and opposition to it. Some warranted. It's a big thing, I have to say, and I honestly have been one of those people for so long, and I wanted to believe that this was real. I wanted to believe that you could just buy an A380 and start an airline, but I didn't think it would. I thought it was going to go the way of every other airline that's tried this, and to be fair, we don't know yet whether that's going to end up happening, because clearly this is the first plane of many. They don't even have their own operating certificate yet. This is a high-fly flight with a global sticker slapped on the side, so who knows, really. Time will tell. Time will tell.
That was the Noel Phillips Lou Review.
I got back to my seat and it turned out that my dinner was about ready. And so it's almost lunchtime on today's flight. They've come and set the table up. This looks very fancy. We've even got a little caviar spoon, a little tiny caviar spoon. And then, well, I waited and waited some more. And eventually, finally, some food turned up. Now, they're one of the big things that's been promised all the way along the whole Global Airlines journey is some of the big brand names that they have had on board. They've been promised a partnership with these guys, Rover Caviar, who apparently are a very fancy, very posh caviar company. They promised a partnership with these guys, Laurent Perrier, Grand Sequel, the champagne people as well. I mean, to me, it's just champagne and fish eggs, but I am not the sort of target audience that they're actually targeting, I guess, with these things. But I'm going to try some of this caviar and we're going to see what this is like. You know what, that's actually alright. So for lunch then, I've gone for the tender short rib of Teddem Vale beef. So it's basically beef and it looks absolutely amazing. To be honest, I can't wait to see what it tastes like. It just looks incredible. Wow, that is really nice. Only lukewarm, but it's nice. I love flying on Airbus A380s. They are one of my favourite planes in the world. Not my favourite, the A350 is my favourite, but you can't deny how cool it is when you get to the gate and see an Airbus A380 there. They're quiet, they're smooth, they're comfortable, they're amazing, really. And the problem is not many airlines fly them these days. They're not very fuel efficient. Many airlines are getting rid of them out of their fleets. I never thought I'd see the day where I'd be sitting on board an Airbus A380 with an airline that's never had them before and has just taken one on. And yet here I am, 38,000 feet above the Atlantic on an Airbus A380 with a semi on. Right, so it's amenity kit time. All the amenity kits on Global Airlines are bricks brand. Even in economy, they get a bricks amenity kit. That's pretty decent. Not very many airlines do amenity kits in economy class these days. Global Airlines do. But let's have a look at what's inside the first class one. It's like a little man bag, quite like that. Look at that. What's inside though? This is quite a nice bag actually. We've got a pair of socks for a start. We've got a pair of socks and an eye mask, and it's a Global Airlines eye mask, and it's black. Thank you for not doing a stupid beige or a white eye mask. Black eye masks are where it's at. They actually block the light out. We've got a wooden comb for combing my noggin. Tissue when you're finished with your semi on and it makes a mess everywhere. Ask me how I know. Earplugs, dental kit, pen, and an actual pen, not one made of like recycled cardboard or something. It's actually an actual pen. Nice. A shoe horn for horning your shoes. And then in here, Murdoch. Rupert Murdoch's refreshing towel, like a sample of something. What's this? Oh, it's toilet water. Useful, by the way, on planes. If you go in the bathroom and make a stink, just spray a bit of aftershave after you. A mirror. Look at that, look. Global Airlines. A branded mirror. Nice. Lip salve, pulse point oil, body lotion. These portions. Right, I'm not trying to complain here. I really am not, because it's a nice amenity kit, and this Murdoch, I think, is a decent brand. They're like so tiny. like 1 squirt of body lotion and you're going to be out, aren't you, with that? There's not a lot in there. The good thing about this as well, though, this bag is quite nice, and it's not one of those paper bags that you get on some airlines. Iceland Air, that video is coming soon. They give you like a little paper bag for your amenity kit that falls to bits the first time you use it. Something like this you can use over and over and over again. Airlines call it being sustainable by making recycled paper bags, but actually it's not really, because in my head they're just going to fall to bits after the first time you use it. Something like this is going to be used forever and ever. Case in point, my cable bag right here. This is one that I got, I think, on Kuwait Airways years ago. When I did the round the world one, the original one, I flew Kuwait Airways. This was back in like 2019, 6 years. This bag has been carrying my cables around the world. This is what happens when you get a proper bag. That paper one off Iceland Air had fallen to bits as soon as I got back. The tickets though weren't that badly priced really. In economy I think they were like £380 each way. In business class it was sort of £2,000 each way, and then up here in first it was £3,000 each way that I paid for it. And then actually in US dollars it worked out to about $3,500 for this seat. I don't think that's too bad really, considering how much you'd pay for a non-stop flight to New York on BA or something like that. You're generally talking a minimum of sort of $5,000 to $6,000 for those seats. I'd say it's pretty fair. The seat isn't fantastic. We've not got Emirates quality here. We've not even got United Polaris quality here or anything like that. It's a very old, tired seat. I'd say that price is probably quite reasonable. So we have started our descent down into New York's John F. Kennedy Airport, the first ever A380 flight between Glasgow and JFK. Definitely the first non-stop flight from Glasgow to New York in a very long time, and we're about to touch down in a few minutes into JFK. Apparently the weather's not too good though, so we might not get a good view when we land, but hey.
Welcome you to New York City, where we have just landed at JFK Airport. Good afternoon and thank you.
And just like that, Global Airlines had touched down in the USA, a landmark moment, but whether they'd build on it or just become another footnote in aviation history, well, that remains to be seen. You see, I genuinely want them to succeed, like honestly, but after today it's clear there's a long runway ahead before they're truly ready for takeoff. I was invited to an after party at the TWA hotel at JFK, but with my next flight looming I had to head straight to Newark, which might have been a blessing in disguise, because word on the ramp is that one particularly well-known British travel journalist, who you may or may not have spotted earlier on in this video, was asked to leave the event after sharing some less than glowing opinions about the airline. I'll let you draw your own conclusions. For now though, we'd arrived, well, sort of. Not at a gate, mind you, we parked at a remote stand miles from the terminal, so we all got treated to the full budget carrier experience, a bus ride through JFK in the rain. Nothing says first class quite like standing under a dripping wingtip trying to figure out which direction the door is.
There we go, it's doing it, it's doing it! Hey.
So after fellow content creator Josh Cale managed to step foot in the States for the first time in a very long time, it was time to head to passport control. For everybody else it was an hour and a half wait, but with my global entry I was through in about 30 seconds and heading to my Uber to take me across New York to Newark Airport.
Thank you, how are you?
Alright, then welcome back to New York. Just heading over the bridge into New Jersey to get my flight home from Newark Airport, and the Manhattan skyline somewhere over there in the background on a murky, miserable day. Strangely, much worse here than it was over in Glasgow. Opposite to usual, I think. But anyway, that was a quite nice flight over with Global Airlines. Few bits and pieces. Will they last? What do you think? Let me know down in those comments. And I look forward to seeing them. But for now, I'm off home to get a bit of kip. So thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.